Alcohol, sometimes referred to by the chemical name ethanol, is a psychoactive drug that is the active ingredient in drinks such as beer, wine, and distilled spirits, hard liquor. It is one of the oldest and most common recreational substances, causing the characteristic effects of alcohol intoxication, drunkenness. Among other effects, alcohol produces happiness and euphoria, decreased anxiety, increased sociability, sedation, impairment of cognitive, memory, motor, and sensory function, and generalized depression of central nervous system function. Ethanol is only one of several types of alcohol, but it is the only type of alcohol that is found in alcoholic beverages or commonly used for recreational purposes. Other alcohols such as methanol and isopropyl alcohol are significantly more toxic. A mild, brief exposure to isopropanol, being only moderately more toxic than ethanol, is unlikely to cause any serious harm. Methanol, being profoundly more toxic than ethanol, is lethal in quantities as small as 10 to 15 milliliters, 2 to 3 teaspoons. Alcohol has a variety of short-term and long-term adverse effects. Short-term adverse effects include generalized impairment of neurocognitive function, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, and hangover-like symptoms. Alcohol is addictive to humans, and can result in alcohol use disorder, dependence and withdrawal. It can have a variety of long-term adverse effects on health, for instance liver damage, brain damage, and its consumption is the fifth leading cause of cancer. Failed verification. The adverse effects of alcohol on health are most important when it is used in excessive quantities or with heavy frequency. However, some of them, such as increased risk of certain cancers, may occur even with light or moderate alcohol consumption. In high amounts, alcohol may cause loss of consciousness or, in severe cases, death. Alcohol works in the brain primarily by increasing the effects of a neurotransmitter called gamma-aminobutyric acid, or GABA. This is the major inhibitory neurotransmitter in the brain, and by facilitating its actions, alcohol suppresses the activity of the central nervous system. The substance also directly affects a number of other neurotransmitter systems including those of glutamate, glycine, acetylcholine, and serotonin. The pleasurable effects of alcohol ingestion are the result of increased levels of dopamine and endogenous opioids in the reward pathways of the brain. Alcohol also has toxic and unpleasant actions in the body, many of which are mediated by its byproduct acetaldehyde. Alcohol has been produced and consumed by humans for its psychoactive effects for almost 10,000 years. Drinking alcohol is generally socially acceptable and is legal in most countries, unlike with many other recreational substances. However, there are often restrictions on alcohol sale and use, for instance a minimum age for drinking and laws against public drinking and driving. Alcohol has considerable societal and cultural significance and has important social roles in much of the world. Drinking establishments, such as bars and nightclubs, revolve primarily around the sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages, and parties, festivals, and social gatherings commonly involve alcohol consumption. Alcohol is unique in that it is the only drug that damages others more than the user. It is related to various societal problems, including drunk driving, accidental injuries, sexual assaults, domestic abuse, and violent crime. Alcohol remains illegal for sale and consumption in a number of countries, mainly in the Middle East. While some religions, including Islam, prohibit alcohol consumption, other religions, such as Christianity and Shinto, utilize alcohol in sacrament and libation. Drinking too much, on a single occasion or over time, can take a serious toll on your health. Here's how alcohol can affect your body. Brain. Alcohol interferes with the brain's communication pathways, and can affect the way the brain looks and works. These disruptions can change mood and behavior, and make it harder to think clearly and move with coordination. Heart. Drinking a lot over a long time or too much on a single occasion can damage the heart, causing problems including cardiomyopathy, stretching and drooping of heart muscle, arrhythmias, irregular heartbeat, stroke, high blood pressure, liver. Heavy drinking takes a toll on the liver, and can lead to a variety of problems and liver inflammations including steatosis, or fatty liver, alcoholic hepatitis, fibrosis, cirrhosis, pancreas. Alcohol causes the pancreas to produce toxic substances that can eventually lead to pancreatitis, a dangerous inflammation and swelling of the blood vessels in the pancreas that prevents proper digestion. Cancer. According to the National Cancer Institute, there is a strong scientific consensus that alcohol drinking can cause several types of cancer. In its report on carcinogens, the National Toxicology Program of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services lists consumption of alcoholic beverages as a known human carcinogen. The evidence indicates that the more alcohol a person drinks, particularly the more alcohol a person drinks regularly over time, the higher his or her risk of developing an alcohol-associated cancer. Even those who have no more than 1 drink per day and people who binge drink, those who consume 4 or more drinks for women and 5 or more drinks for men in one sitting, have a modestly increased risk of some cancers. Based on data from 2009, an estimated 3.5% of cancer deaths in the United States, about 19,500 deaths, were alcohol-related. Clear patterns have emerged between alcohol consumption and increased risks of certain types of cancer, head and neck cancer, including oral cavity, pharynx, and larynx cancers. Esophageal cancer, particularly esophageal squamous cell carcinoma. In addition, people who inherit a deficiency in an enzyme that metabolizes alcohol have been found to have substantially increased risks of esophageal squamous cell carcinoma if they consume alcohol. Liver cancer, breast cancer. Studies have consistently found an increased risk of breast cancer in women with increasing alcohol intake. Women who consume about 1 drink per day have a 5 to 9% higher chance of developing breast cancer than women who do not drink at all. Immune system. Drinking too much can weaken your immune system, making your body a much easier target for disease. Chronic drinkers are more liable to contract diseases like pneumonia and tuberculosis than people who do not drink too much. Drinking a lot on a single occasion slows your body's ability to ward off infections. Alcohol is the biggest cause of liver disease in the UK. Many people think that you have to be an alcoholic to develop liver disease, but this is a myth. Regularly drinking over the recommended limit increases the risk of developing liver disease and liver cancer. Although most people who drink stick within the limits, around 1 in 4 people drink alcohol in a way that could harm their health. Alcohol is broken down by the liver. This produces harmful chemicals that can damage and kill liver cells. Although the liver is very good at repairing itself, it can't keep up with the damage from regularly drinking too much alcohol. This can cause scarring, which builds up and leads to cirrhosis. Not everyone who drinks too much alcohol will develop liver disease. The risk is higher for people who have another type of liver condition, and for people who have a BMI in the overweight or obese range. Other factors such as genetics and family history can also play a role in whether someone will develop a serious form of alcohol-related liver disease. If you are worried that alcohol has damaged your liver, ask your GP for a liver fibrosis test. This could be a blood test or a type of scan that checks whether your liver is likely to have any scarring, fibrosis. Finding liver disease early can make a big difference. There are lots of different ways to cut down on alcohol. Try some out and stick with the ones that work for you. Don't worry about the odd slip-up. No one can be perfect all the time. The most important thing is to keep going. Think over what happened and why. Is there something you could do differently in future? If you have physical withdrawal symptoms, like shaking, sweating, or feeling anxious until you have your first drink of the day, speak to a doctor before trying to cut down or stop drinking. It can be dangerous to stop drinking suddenly. It can help to be clear in your mind about what you mean by cutting down. Is there a particular limit you want to set yourself, for units or drinks? Do you want to have more drink-free days? Or is it more about no longer drinking in certain situations, for example if pub lunches are a regular thing where you work? Telling someone else, like a partner or friend, can also help you to set a clear goal and stick to it. If you aren't sure where to start, try one of these ideas. Choose a lower strength drink, or go for a low or no alcohol version. Beer, wine, or a cocktail, there's lots of choice. The key number is the ABV. Set yourself a budget. You might be surprised at how much you spend on alcohol. Cut down by giving yourself a fixed budget, and save up the extra money for a treat, like a family day out or some new clothes. Buddy up and cut down with a friend. You can help one another stick to your goals. Track your drinks so you know where you started and can see the progress you're making. It can help you cut down too. Visit Alcohol Change to download a free drinks tracker. Go half and half and have a shandy or a spritzer. Or make every other drink a soft one, starting with your first. Stay out of rounds and in control. Don't let other people set the pace. It's easy to drink more than you meant to when you're keeping up with the group. Don't top up your glass, as it's easy to lose track of how much alcohol you've really had. Try measuring the glasses you use at home, so you know how much you're drinking. Only drink alcohol with your evening meal. Cut out drinks before or afterwards. Do something different when you go out. Try bowling, the cinema, or going for a coffee instead of heading to the pub. Lots of people struggle to cut down on drinking, so there's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. Deciding to make a change is the most important step. Thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get new videos.